When it comes to teaching time, I've got a controversial opinion, and this may upset a lot of you. But hear me out. I think we've got the whole thing back to front. And the reason for that is, when it comes to telling the time, this is the first time that students are dealing with a system other than base 10. Because to tell the time, we need to understand base 60. And so when it comes to the order in which students learn to tell the time or read the clock, to me it seems totally backwards, because our curriculum states that students should be starting by telling the time to the hour, so o'clock. The next step the curriculum suggests is telling time to the half hour. So now, all of a sudden, I'm splitting my hour up into 30 minutes. Then they want students to be able to tell time to the quarter hour. So knowing that this is 2:15, and then 2:30. And so then just when you're thinking that this is 2 and 1, 2, 3 quarters, no, now all of a sudden we're going to throw some subtraction in the mix, because instead of thinking that we're at 2 3/4 of an hour, we're going to tell kids that, well, we're closer to 3, so now we're going to 3's our whole, and how much left do we have before we get to 3? So then students have to know that that is 2:45 until we get to 3 o'clock. And then only after they've mastered that, with all the confusion of fractions and quarters to and quarters past and all the rest of it, does the curriculum suggest that now it's time to teach time to the minute. Now, maybe I am just crazy, but to me, starting by telling the time to the minute makes so much more sense, because the minute is our base unit. Now, I'm not for a second suggesting that students don't need to learn the language of quarter to, quarter past. I just don't think it's the right spot to start, because we've just introduced a new system, base 60. Put it this way, when it comes to teaching place value initially, we don't start by getting students to skip count by hundreds, then tell them to halve the 100 into 50s, skip count by 50s, and then count by quarters of 100. Makes no sense. We'd start by teaching them to count by ones as our foundation and then build on from there. So here's what you're going to do. Start with a time, say 2 o'clock, and then represent the minutes passing by adding single MAB blocks around the clock. Each time saying what's the hour and how many minutes. So for example, it's currently 2:45 because it's been 2 hours and 45 minutes since 12 o'clock. Then when you get to the 60 minutes, trade all the MABs for 1 hour and repeat this a couple of times. Only once my students are confident with this will I attempt to introduce the language of half past, quarter past, quarter to, because then at least we've established the fundamental understanding of how time is being measured first.